Welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot. Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming to you from a beautiful day in Brooklyn. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, my number two, the man in charge, the big dog, Mr. Ray Zawodni.
Oh, thank you so much, Dylan. And more importantly, thank you, everybody that's been listening, watching us. Full videos out there on the YouTube, new every single Wednesday. Reels, shorts, whatever you need.
We're doing it all.
We're doing it all. And the audio listeners, also the Spotify and your Apple Pods, thank you so much. And if you are listening to us on there and you enjoy us, one way to help us out is please leave us one of those ratings and reviews. 5 stars if you're leaving us rating. We will accept nothing less. So I want to thank everybody that's left 5 stars. Everybody that hasn't, I see a couple of people that have left one. There's that 1-star guy out there who I fucking threatened last week. Hey, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but I will find you and I will kill you.
So violent, dude.
And if he's listening to this episode, he's gonna change that fucking star rating because we have a fantastic guest on the show today, Matt Fulchiron. Everybody,
it's great.
Does it not stop on its own?
It stops after like
not
7 seconds. Ray does always do. You can tell if you listen. You can tell when Ray does the claps because he'll go. And I'll just turn it off. I'm like, dude, let it play out, man.
I'm like an audience in a swanky New York room where they'll go, haha. Right. And then they're just ready for the next joke.
Yeah, you can't give people too much love. They'll get cocky. They'll get lazy. So I'm glad. But that was nice to have that applause.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Feels nice, right?
2 guys felt like 1 million people.
Yeah,
right?
Studio audience, you know?
Yeah.
We do. We bring that kind of energy.
Kind of wondering about the other buttons. So this gives me something exciting.
Dude, no.
They'll come up.
They're very fun, dude.
I'm sure they will.
Are some of them offensive? Maybe. Who knows?
Oh, most of them.
I just love that you're threatening someone's life within the first 2 minutes.
I do it every time by accident.
It's so funny, like, to think about a situation where you might be, you're not thinking about it now, but like child custody or something. And they just like play that shit in court and you're like, Your Honor, it's clearly a joke. But then the jury's like, I don't know about this guy.
Last week, Ray gave him my address. Thank God I'm moving tomorrow. But Ray goes, come to fucking 168 Cooper Street and I'll beat your ass.
You just gave it again.
I do that as a bit. I can't wait for the guy that's like, hey, I'm 1 star. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm going to have to fight this guy in the street.
1 star works out.
Yeah.
No, 1 star has no confidence. He's never confronting you face to face.
No way, dude.
He doesn't live in this city.
Not even using his real name.
Fake name.
Yeah.
I think the name is like Dylan is gay.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the review.
So Dylan's getting it harder than you.
Yeah,
just so
for
you know.
Yeah, I got it pretty hard.
Well, there's one that's and I mentioned it. There's a 5-star review out there, but it's negative. He left 5 stars. He must have fucked up. He left 5 stars and he's like, "This show sucks. Dylan's a fucking loser."
Dude, every podcast you look at, it's like, or any show or any fucking YouTube you look at, it's just, there's no 3-star reviews. It's just 501, 501, 501. And 4-star reviews are baffling.
Oh, it blows my mind.
So are 2.
It's literally just their friends and enemies leaving ratings.
Yeah.
Friends and enemies, friends and enemies.
All you got to do is like go look at the Beatles YouTube, like a song on YouTube, and it'd be like 8,000 thumbs down.
Yeah.
Like, this band fucking sucks. They were like around 50 years ago and people are still talking about them. Mostly positive. Mostly positive.
You're just almost objectively wrong at that point.
Dude, all the comments are like Rolling Stones lover. This band sucks.
Exactly.
Like, what's going on?
Technically, I like the B-side of this version. The fucking nerds ruin everything, too. I'm tired of being nice to nerds.
I can't see you
Dude, I feel the same way about autistic people. You know, it's... I forgot we're doing the podcast.
I can't see you getting a lot of mean comments.
I get tons of mean stuff. And
Really?
this is just going to open the door. But
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, everybody gets it. If you think I don't get it, I get it.
Yeah.
I get the mean things to the point where it's so personal and so inside your head, like these people are evil. They know like your greatest fears. They know what you don't like about yourself. They're tapped into it.
Oh, yeah.
And they come after you, man, and just like, boom, they get you. And there's your day. Maybe your week.
Dude.
You'll be on stage like thinking about the comments.
Oh, yep. Dude,
They were right.
The most is great is like, what's up, fucking collarbones? What? I don't even.
You could tell that this got to me because this is probably the 19th time I've brought this up on a podcast.
Yeah.
I posted one clip and it had, dude, it got like less than 1,000 fucking views and one comment on it, just one, and it goes, "Could you be any fatter?" I see that, and that night my girlfriend gets to my apartment. I'm meeting her outside, and she's like, "Hey, Ray," she's like, I got you some Starbursts. When I went to the store, I was like, I can't have it. I don't even want it. And it's just like, man, why did I let that affect me?
Yeah.
Dude, this happened like 3 months ago, and
I'm
Ray's
still
still
talking
thinking about it.
It hurts.
I wanna-
and it ruins your fucking snacks. It does. You know what I mean? It puts like a little extra guilt in there.
Dude, I didn't eat the Starburst till the day after.
Right. Well, you didn't throw them out. That's
No,
good.
fine.
That's
I'm not a
yeah.
monster.
I mean, your lady gave them to you, so
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It was that one thing that guy that I don't know posted, and I thought way too analytically about him. I was like, no, he's just being mean. Because I'm like, I could be fatter. There are fatter people. There are fatter people than me
could
exist.
It's for anyone, if this is an American citizen criticizing you,
Yeah.
they've got a lot more work to do
Yeah,
as
right?
far as shaming people. I mean, you're pretty slim compared to a lot of people in this country.
Oh yeah, dude. Until you start getting TV offers from TLC, you're good.
Right,
You're good.
right. You know what's terrible with the trolls is when one good citizen tries to argue with the troll, but now you're getting tagged, and like they're antagonizing the bully, and the bully is just shitting on you harder and harder, but the other person is like arguing with them, and so you're just getting like all this shit. Even if you have the person blocked, you'll see
brutal.
somebody arguing with your known troll, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my known troll is at it again." And like your curiosity gets you.
It's like when
And
your
you
mom
unblock
sticks
them.
up for you.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly what it's like, dude.
We got one fucking loser on YouTube who always leaves negative comments, and I'm pretty sure he subscribes. And I'm like, what are you doing? You come back here every week just to leave a comment?
One person, when they came out to my podcast specifically, they're like, "This is the hardest podcast I've ever had to endure." And I never interact with them and be like, "Endure? Like, what are you, in fucking solitary confinement and they're playing it? Like, just fucking unsubscribe, dude." There's like hundreds and thousands of podcasts at this point. Celebrities are doing them now.
Swipe out of the fucking app. You don't have to listen to me. Dude, speaking of the best thing that I ever saw is we were having our 10-year high school reunion, and there's like a group made, and like all these people are invited, and this girl that used to get bullied in high school comments and goes, "Why the fuck would I want to go somewhere where everybody was mean to me and see these people again?" And then what proceeded is everybody just re-bullying her in these comments. They were like, "Why you got to bring that fucking negative energy in here?" Yo, she was weird as fuck back in the day anyways. I was like, no!
God.
Why did she do that to herself?
It's so funny, too, because if you just went to the reunion, people would have been fake enough to be nice to
Yeah,
her.
hey, how's
How
it going?
funny
Great to
is
see
that?
you. I bet you've changed.
I was a real dick back then. Turns out I'm still a dick. You know, everybody's still a dick. No one's grown up on the internet yet.
No.
Like, people have grown up in person. Right? Like, there's
yeah,
assholes
yeah.
from high school who will be nice to you and maybe even apologize.
Yeah.
But online, no. Just pile in, fucking go about your day. They don't even remember what they
Like,
wrote you.
Hey,
you
I'm
know?
super sorry I called you pancake tits all of high school.
You're not wrong. Nobody is posting on Facebook to show how much they've grown. You know? They're going on there to be secretly mean.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just glad I didn't have the internet when I was like, I don't know, 17, 18,
Yeah.
because I remember like, I'd make like really mean jokes about celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
If I had the access to just like write them. Instead, my band made a song about Mr. T, which was mostly
Did it really?
positive. The third verse was negative, but no one ever heard it.
What was the negativity?
The negativity
Mr. T.
The negativity is so naive for me at this point. It was like, the second verse was about like the first verse is like the origin.
Yeah.
The second verse is about like the glory, and the third verse is like how his career's fallen off. And this is like 92 or something. You know what I mean? Now I look at Mr. T and I'm like, this dude was a bouncer and he had his own show on NBC when that mattered. He was in Rocky 3.
Yeah.
Like that shit's
That's crazy.
huge and it's good enough.
Yeah.
God damn it. It's good enough. I remember one line was, and then he made that guest appearance on Blossom. His career is either dead or it's playing possum. It was a cool song. The
You
chorus,
gotta put this song out.
I don't know where it is. The chorus was we actually learned it like without tablature of he had a cartoon. It was like, Mr. T. That's the downside of no internet. We were a pretty fucking cool band. Speaking of high school, we named our band after a bully in high school. We called ourselves the Kevin Murphys. We were like some funny fucking guys. Isn't it funny how funny you are before you're a comedian?
Oh, yeah.
That's when you just let it fly,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think I was funnier.
I know I was.
I was.
My heart was in it. Now it's like work and like I got to stay on it. And I'm is that funny? Is that funny? Is that funny? Back then I knew I was funny.
Yeah. It is interesting. I feel like every comic was not the funniest person in their group of friends either.
Right.
I talked to so many guys. I wasn't for sure.
Right.
It was just like you wanted to be, and that's why you did this. But there's so many dudes who were just like so fucking funny back in the day.
Yeah.
Just lights out.
Oh yeah,
But
never missed.
those skills apply better as like I don't know, like a even like a Volvo agent or something.
In
You
the
know, like
office.
something that has to
Yeah.
deal with people. Our day jobs were always like, we look like, we look like assholes at our day jobs and stuff. Even like before we get on stage, we're like, somebody comes to talk to you like, I'm a fan, fuck off.
Yeah, you going into the ring? What's happening?
Or working
Yes.
working a day job, you don't tell anybody that you do comedy.
No.
I did though. I was so silly. I was like, I would invite people out to the shows. I used to do a lot of bringer shows.
Yeah.
And then like, not only did I do it once, I did it every time I had a bringer show. I'd like advertise it on the company email, which was so silly. But
hilarious.
luckily it dropped off naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was the best piece of advice I got when I first started. Was someone told me, he was like, oh, are those your friends? I was like, yeah. It was like my 5th time doing stand-up. And he's like, oh, your friends came out. That's great. And he goes, yeah, you'll burn all your friends. He goes, they'll stop coming.
Yeah.
They'll stop. And I was like, wow, that's so great. And I stopped really inviting them.
Yeah.
And then when you do, even now, like fucking 8-9 years later, it's like, hey, you want to come out? And I'm like, yeah, I'm way better now.
Right.
Like it's not.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's at a legit establishment. It's not
But
in the
it's
basement
not
of a
just
bar.
about you. It's them. They're sitting
yeah.
through like, I don't know, 6-7 other comics that they
Yeah.
might not like, and then one comic's gonna come after them.
Yeah.
And be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a fucked up shirt.
yeah. What's up, pussy?
Yeah, exactly.
Your wife's cheating on you. You're like, what? Why would he invite us here?
It's
I'm
just-
just here for a nice night.
Because they think you're friends with everybody. They're like, your one friend was pretty mean to us. I don't know that guy.
I don't know him. He's just as mean to me.
I didn't tell anybody when I worked at customer service, like over the phone job, and I didn't
Yeah.
tell anybody when I first started comedy. I was like, I get dirty now, but like I was like all fucking jerking off and like all like that type of shit. Like, how much would you suck a dick for $1 million for?
Right.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were talking about your day job. You were saying that at your day job. But when you were a comic, you first started.
No,
those were
no,
your
I
jokes,
wasn't that
yeah.
guy at my day job, but somebody came to the Improv in Pittsburgh. They
Yeah.
came to see the show, and I was like hosting or something, and they were like, "Oh my god!" It was like a lady I worked with. I was like, "No," and she's just telling everybody because she didn't see me after the show.
Yeah.
we're just at work on Monday. She was like, "Guess who I saw on stage?" And I'm like, "No, abort."
Yeah.
Come on.
I
The
know.
worst. Dude,
It sucks.
when I remember I was interning when I was in law school. I was interning at the DA's office before I got a job there. And dude, I was an intern, so I was quiet. I have a very whenever I start things, I feel like it's always good to come in with your head down, and
Yeah.
then people like there was this girl I remember. She like always was crazy wild, intern with me, and she did not get a job because everyone hated her. I thought everyone loved her, and. Turns out, no, they like you when you're quiet and you work.
Right.
But, dude, I remember, like, the last day that I was there, one of the prosecutors comes in and he goes, hey, you guys know that Dylan does stand-up? And I was like, good. I was like, I've done it a few times. It's not serious. I'm, like, trying to get a job at this place. It was horrifying.
Me and my wife just went on our honeymoon in Hawaii, and we're out on this
congratulations,
boat. And
then.
I thank you. And I got off the boat and was swimming, and when I came back on, one of the tour guides, they were like these young aloha kids. They thought they were like they had their own jokes on the tour.
Yeah.
As a comedian, I saw right through it. I'm like, they do these jokes all the time. Like you can smell it a mile away. But he goes, "Hey Matt, I heard you're a comedian." I go, yeah. And he goes, you're not funny. I just got called out.
Oh, brutal,
on the boat.
dude.
And there's not much you can do. You can't whip up some funny and be like, funny. It's like, by the way, I'm touring on your boat. Like, I'm not gonna
vacation, bitch.
I'm not gonna just start riffing.
I'm on my honeymoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this later.
Yeah. Who does that joke where he's like,
But I gotta tell you, I gotta interview just for a second. I love my wife. She's like, yeah, I didn't tip him. Fuck him.
Hell yeah.
I was
right?
like,
That's
God,
so
I married
good,
the right
dude.
woman.
That's so good, man. I love that.
You were how long were you in bands before you started doing comedy?
I wasn't in bands that long. I was in a band my senior year of high school. I was in a band total of my life, let's say 4 years total. Yeah.
Shit.
Was it like a Beastie Boys type of band?
Yeah, there was 2 bands I had that were like a Beastie Boys.
Hell yeah,
And
that's
then
pretty
the
cool.
first band I was in was like a rock band. It was in like 91, 92. It was like I was there for the grunge movement. We were all on board. I actually sang, I was the singer in that band, Smells Like Teen Spirit, at my pep rally.
Shit.
Like the
Oh, that's
video.
cool.
It was way more tame.
Were you good?
But no, I wasn't particularly good. I was a decent rapper.
Yeah.
I was a decent guitar player. Rap music is fun to make as like a musician because I'm good rhythmically. I can keep up rhythmically
Yeah.
but I'm kind of tone deaf. I don't understand chords
Yeah.
and pitches and stuff like that. But on hip hop, you can just kind of repeat something,
Oh, yeah.
repeat something, and it sounds really cool. It was just like a 4/4 beat, so it's just like endless. And then we rap. But again, it's like I'm so happy I had that freedom because nowadays I would have posted the first demo on there, and then on the other hand, who would have noticed? Nowadays, it's like everybody posts everything, and it's almost like saying something out loud, except it just lasts forever.
That's a great point, dude. Yeah, I mean, if you could find that music of Mr. T, that would be unbelievable. I picture it going viral on TikTok, and then Mr. T hearing it and being like, "What the fuck?"
4th verse, the rise of Mr. T.
Hey, yeah, that's what and that's just us playing.
Motherfucker, I had a TV show.
I'm like, listen, I give it up, man. You made it further than me.
That's what I like. I
Way
like
further than me.
adult you is just like, no, he actually had a good career. I don't know why we were talking shit on him.
Let's think about it.
Yeah, really
Let's
good.
think about it. He had a cartoon and a primetime television show and a feature-length movie. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Maybe
he had his own cereal,
An
right?
iconic villain. Also.
Yes.
And he goes by Mr. T.
Dude,
and
come
is
on.
famous.
You know how many people's last names start with T?
Yeah.
He's Mr. T.
I always
Out of
think,
all those people,
What's his last name?
nobody knows.
No
It's
one
T.
knows.
fool.
T, bro. It's like tuberculosis. It's like I get it. Yeah.
The guy's going to change his handle. I pity Dylan. I pity the Dylan.
Dude, don't give these fuckers ideas, dude.
It's nicer, actually.
I pity the Dylan.
Dude, I don't know how much you remember this, but because it was like one of like the first like big weekends of comedy that I ever did in my career was when you missed out on Mike Tyson.
Yes, I do remember that. I was taping the Gotham TV show here in New York. And then I got on and while you were hanging with Mike Tyson
Yes.
and Tom Segura, I was on a Greyhound, like already hungover by the time I sat down, like leaving Port Authority at like 2 a.m. to get to Pittsburgh to do those shows.
Because I remember it was the second like host weekend I've ever done, and I was like so green and so nervous, and I was a fan of Segura at that point too. So I was in the green room and I did the like, hey, is there anything like you want me to do? And he was like, yeah, Mike Tyson's in the audience. Don't fuck up. and he started laughing, and then I was like, and I like leave, and I was like, that's a weird random thing to say.
Yeah.
And then I noticed there's like extra security, and I go up and then I get off stage and I was like, yeah, Mike Tyson is here.
Right.
And then and then
It became a whole thing because Tom talked about it on his special.
Yeah,
It became
yeah.
like his closing bit
Yeah.
for that special. And on one hand, I was like kind of bummed out. On the other hand, I was like, I'm not like a huge boxing fan, but you do want to see that. Is one person like you? I know you experienced this just by the story you told. You're like, maybe you like Mike Tyson, maybe you don't. But when he's in the building, You want to goddamn see him with your own eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Tom said he was smoking in his green room, Tom's green room.
They were smoking
like just
weed
helps
in there.
himself. Oh, weed. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought he was just smoking cigarettes.
I didn't know you hung out with him.
I didn't know, dude. I didn't. They were in there. They were in there, and I was standing outside the green room, being like, I was like, I don't want to fucking stay in my room. Come on, I want to check myself.
Those are good MC instincts, by the way.
But they were just, well, yeah. You never want to be like the hey, what's up?
Some people just move into the green room. Like some
That's
people who
wild.
MC at a club, they will come hang out in the green room just because they play the club on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And it's really fucked up. And
Bad
so
look.
it's just a dumb idea. And like, and a headliner might not even kick you out, but you're just off the fucking list, you know?
And they are talking shit on you right when you leave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same type of person to crash the green room is the same type of person to talk a lot, right? Like nobody crashes the green room without just sitting there quietly.
Can I just watch? No, they're like, this open mic this week. You'll never believe what happened. It's like, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Well, I was starstruck. Like that was the only time
of
I've ever
course,
really
yeah,
had it
of course.
because Tyson was so. My dad used to steal all of his fights. You know what I mean? We used
What do
to
you
watch
mean?
him.
Oh, yeah, like
we'd watch him-
cable-wise?
Yeah.
Illegal cable?
Yeah.
One of those illegal cable boxes, and I was just shaking his hand, and I was like trying to like say something to him. He's like, just look at the camera, and I was like, okay, and I was like scared of it because
Right.
he could fucking. I was way bigger than him, but
Yeah.
he.
He knows what to do.
I love how you said that you were way bigger than him, as if that makes any difference, dude.
Well, I mean, because he's larger than life, but
He's
not larger
maybe the
than
most
me.
menacing,
what I'm
menacing
saying?
guy in history, dude. He
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. Like, he can look at a person and be like, it just his weaknesses.
Oh,
Everywhere
yeah.
he's like, that's a weakness, that's a weakness, that's a weakness. I'm pointing, I don't know.
Yeah,
I assume
right,
my face
motherfucker.
is a weakness. You know what I mean?
He's like a YouTube commenter. He's just pointing out weaknesses.
Just like, right, yeah. And he's also used to being famous. He's like, just look at the camera.
Were you a fighter? Did you ever get into fights?
I don't fight much. I got in a fight like in the first grade, and I used to I didn't hold back then. Again, I could win a fight, but I avoid fights like anything now. Like I don't want to get in a fight.
Me too, man.
I heard. I was standing next to Joe Rogan one time, and he said, "Never fight anyone in public." And I was like, "Thank God a fighter said that. Now I have an excuse."
Yeah.
Because he had a point though. He's like, you could get sued. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You don't know what's going to happen to the other person. But after a certain age, my instincts were, let's not fight. Whatever that is. Yeah.
Dude, I've told this before, but there was a kid, a buddy's brother, like a friend of a friend's brother, knocked some dude out when I was in middle school. They were in high school or right after college, knocked some dude out and he hit his head on the curb, died. Guy went to jail.
Ooh. Dude, just like that.
Just like a bar fight that thousands of them happen.
Yeah.
Guy went to jail, manslaughter.
Yeah, you also get the older you get, the more you realize people don't fuck around.
Yeah.
And and you also realize that people can kill you. Like you said, that guy didn't even want to kill the guy.
No, accidentally.
And speaking of weaknesses, there's people that fucking know, and there's people that know what to do, and they'll just fucking do it. And you can be permanently injured. It's so terrifying that any day of your life this could happen. Best not to think about.
Yeah, I try not to think about it ever until
now
right
I am
now.
thinking about it.
Exactly.
Until right this moment.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever seen anyone get knocked out or unconscious?
I'm not sure that I have. I want to say I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I think I would remember it. And I'm going to say no.
I watched someone get choked out once, and that was
That was a couple of months ago on the train when you were there watching
dude, my
Michael
hero.
Jackson impersonator gets
My
strangled.
hero, dude. He protected all of us. Dude, I watched a friend choke out another friend just in a game.
Yeah.
You ever do that in high school? That was
that shit.
That took
No.
over where
I never did that.
dude.
Me neither.
That was big in our high school for a minute, and they would just do it in the locker room. And I remember this kid passed out, and I was like, that was the scariest thing. You wake up and you don't know where you are.
Even girls did that shit.
It's
that was a
terrifying.
weird little thing. I never did that. But somehow I feel like it was around me, people passing out on purpose.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
The scary, and you mentioned a story that you saw like this before, Dylan, but I went to visit my friends when I was in college up at Penn State. It's a huge party school, and they were playing Temple. And these two guys, were just walking past a tailgate or getting into it. And one dude was a taller, lanky dude. And another dude was just yoked up, like ripped dude. And they're like, fuck you, you want to go, you want to go. And the ripped dude blows his own, just Hulk Hogan's his shirt off. Oh my God. And the other guy is still ready to fight. If somebody, and I'm thinking like in the moment, I'm like, if somebody Hulk Hogan's at me, this isn't their first rodeo. I'm tapping out.
It's a total psych out move, and I think I'm going to adopt it.
But hey,
because you're halfway there if you rip your shirt off,
dude. He backed up the Hulk Hogan move. He rolls on this dude and hits him once. The dude drops like a ton of bricks, and he gets on top of him. The guy's already unconscious. Other people are punching this meathead in the back of the head.
Yeah,
it's not phasing him, and he is just hitting an unconscious man.
That's what I'm talking about.
And dude, it like. Me and my buddy Brian are walking back to the apartment that we were hanging out at and didn't say a word after we saw that. Like, that dude might be dead.
Right. It's like even traumatic just to watch. But that's what I mean. Like that you can do. Well, you can't in UFC. You can't hit them when they're unconscious, right?
No.
But you can hit with them when they're on the ground.
Yeah.
And like we're to that level. There used to be like some sort of I'm assuming. Like I said, I wasn't a big fighter.
Yeah.
But word on the street is like if you're on the ground, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Like you couldn't touch them if they were on the ground.
Those were like the rules. It's like never hit a girl and never hit someone when they're on the ground.
Right.
And now it's like, oh no, if you were fighting someone, you better be able to run away because if they get up, they're going to still come at you.
I blame UFC and World Star Hip Hop.
Yeah. Some of those some of those old UFC fights. Do you ever see those?
No,
where
I don't watch much of that.
Gruesome.
I've seen some of the old ones before they started being like CTE.
It was just dudes in jeans.
Yeah.
Like fighting.
Boots. And then like when you were out, they would just go to town while you were unconscious.
Man.
Then they would pull you off.
Ugh.
Now it's like, let's stop the fight before. Then it was like, we got to make sure they're out. And it's like,
God,
Jesus.
It's too much for me.
Yeah.
I don't like violence, man. I'm getting to the point where I don't even like violence in like action movies and shit. I'm getting to the point where like it's too much because our world is becoming too violent, and I'm like, it's too much.
You don't like
it used to be fantasy, and now I'm like, well, maybe when I go to Walmart.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
That's true, dude. You don't like John Wick?
I like
John
it all
Wick.
right. I like it all right. I like it all right. But I don't.
Just
I've only
enough.
seen the first one, and I enjoyed it. But I was like, but that's right around the time when I was getting to like, maybe some more comedies in my life, maybe some dramas, not so much action.
Dude, I just saw something where Matt Damon gave an interview and he was talking about like why there were so many good movies in the 90s. Did you ever see this?
No.
It's like you think about the movies in the 90s that came out. It was all these great like Dead Poet Society and Good Will Hunting, all these really good movies. And they asked him, they were like, why don't they make those today? And he said, he was like, because DVD sales went away. Mm-hmm. And back then, you could put however much money into a movie. And if you didn't make it back on the premiere, when on like the theater run, you would double your money basically with the DVD sales. So now DVD sales are gone. There's that second bump of money. So
people don't go to theaters either.
And people don't go to theaters. So now they have to do movies that like are guaranteed to make money.
This weekend
in the theater
was like so exciting. Like two people were talking about, the whole internet was talking about two movies that you had to go see if you wanted to see it.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild, man. I can't remember the last time that happened.
I loved it though. Like, cause I love going to the movies.
Yeah. I love going to the movies too.
Me
man.
too.
That's one of my favorite fucking things in the world to do. Cause, for the most part, everybody shuts up for 2 hours. For the most part. Speaking of violence.
Yes.
Depending on where you are in the city.
It fires me the fuck
I go crazy.
up, dude, when people talk during a movie.
Yeah, I know.
But people do it every. We were just talking off mic. I was telling a story about. I went to an off-Broadway play, like a professional play, like $70 for the cheapest ticket, and there were fucking hecklers.
Yeah, dude, it's a whole new society, and like people act as if they're on camera at all times now. Most of the time they are, but it's all about like being like the biggest big shot in the fucking room, even at a Broadway play or like a movie that people paid a shitload of money to go to. And at this point, what I really like about it, I immediately realized that was flawed when I said people shut up.
Yeah.
What I really like about it is I can't pause it. I've got to pay attention to
Can't
it,
look at your
and I get
phone.
lost
Yeah.
in a moment, and it's like a huge screen that like is overwhelming. It's actually a little loud for me these days. Sometimes I bring fucking earplugs. I like embrace like old age early.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yeah, no, I'm an old man now. Like this shit's too loud. I don't understand these kids.
Dude,
all
you're
that
gonna
shit.
you're gonna live for the moment you get hearing aids where you just turn them off.
Yeah, no, I
I
can't
feel
wait.
like that's what you can't wait for.
I saw a comic, and I hate doing this on podcasts. I don't know who to give this credit to,
Yeah.
but there's a comic with what do you call it? Hearing aids.
Yeah.
And he says to his wife every night, he's like, okay, anything you want to talk about? Because I'm about to take out my hearing aids. And like once the hearing aids are out,
That's so funny.
it's got to wait till tomorrow.
That's a hilarious thing to do.
I had a show I did one time at it was like a fire department Christmas party I did. It was like a gig salad show, and there was there was two poker tables at the front of the stage. So it was this type of show, and they're having active poker games. And the guy running the show, I'm like, hey, are we gonna stop the game so we could do the show? And he's like, no, they'll do their thing, you do your little thing. I was like, okay, perfect. This is my dream. And I get on stage, and like I say like, hey, how's everybody doing? And this old dude at the poker table goes, you're too loud. And then I think I'm clever. I'm like, hey, well then why don't you turn down your fucking hearing aids, old man? And he has the better comeback of going, you're right. Turns down his hearing aids. I'm saying stuff to him the rest of the show. He doesn't hear shit.
That's brilliant. And now he can get into the poker game. But you need to
hilarious.
explain to the audience what a gig salad gig is.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I've signed up for this.
Okay.
But without paying. So it was like, I remember it was like in the Ohio area. And now I get all these gigs for Ohio gigs. But basically, to my knowledge, and you can fill in if you like, it's like abnormal events. Like you were just talking about, like a Christmas party. I got one for a Christmas party in
Birthday
Ohio
party.
today. Yeah.
Dude, it's never anything ideal for stand-up comedy.
It's always a hell gig, and there's one thing if you're playing a shitty bar gig in like rural Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But at least it's something they do every week. And they know what they're doing to a
Yeah, yeah.
certain extent. This is just somebody like I did this wasn't gig salad, but this was a horrible gig. It was like 2 hours outside of Kansas City in Missouri or Kansas, I can't remember. And it was like a farmer's Christmas party. And goddamn if I didn't fly for 4 hours and drive for 2 hours just to ruin their fucking Christmas party. Do you know what I mean? And I had no intention of ruining it. I wanted it to be good. And there were moments where I'm like, okay, this is good. And then like, it just didn't end well. And so it felt like it wasn't good because it kind of wasn't good.
Oh, that's
And I had like all this just Catholic guilt. Those are nice people. Those are
You
good
ruined their
people.
day.
I fucking ruined their day.
It's like
Did you hang after?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not
immediately
really.
out of there.
I did enough to be like, it doesn't faze me. Everything's cool. And then like 15 minutes later, I was out of there. And
hilarious.
just like just like beating myself up. Like, you should have prepared. You should have got like everyone's name.
More jokes about
And
tractors.
yes, I did. Yeah. But at this point, I've forgiven myself.
Well, I was going to say, you do know that you couldn't prepare.
Well,
In
a way, like you can and you can't. It's still gonna be a struggle.
Yeah,
And
that's
you're
what-
always gonna be an outsider. And like I'm always gonna come off as like some kind of city guy who thinks he knows everything or
think you're
something.
better than us?
Exactly. And I'm like, no.
Back in a big
no,
city.
I don't.
That's so
Back in
funny.
the big city.
Back in a big city. You guys got trains out here? What's going on?
You guys got internet yet?
Wi-Fi is it's the computer, but in the sky.
Meanwhile, they're feeding us all.
I know.
Yeah, dude. Wild. Do you see that? Do you know that Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland in the country?
Didn't know that.
Isn't that fucked up? Doesn't that really scare you?
It's
It
weird.
should.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. It seems like two ends of the spectrum. It seems
Too
like
much.
the ultimate futuristic city society, and
Yeah.
then like, and you're saying there's a lot of farmland as well. That's interesting.
And he's got that big push for everybody going like soy. Like everybody should eat soy. We should have all meat,
Smart.
veggie products. No, it's not, dude.
For him?
Because yeah,
Can make a ton of fucking money off
he's
of it.
doing all these things like everyone should only eat plant-based meat now. And like meanwhile he's
I feel like plant based is like kind of like based on a true story. It's like
Yeah.
it's not really like you look at I always feel good when I eat like a veggie burger or something. Then you look at the ingredients.
Oh, it's
and there's
horrible
like,
for you.
There's like 48
Oh, dude,
ingredients.
it's all this processed like oil and carcinogens,
Right,
and it's probably
right.
not worse than the fried food
and
we
you don't
all
see
eat.
any plants
No,
in there.
And it tastes too good to be.
right,
I know. I
right.
know what a salad fucking
Yeah.
tastes like.
But they do use the same chemicals on beef, though.
yeah,
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
like Burger King's not really like flame broiled like that. They put a powder on it.
Oh,
and
really?
And it's like, yeah.
Oh shit,
I
I didn't know that.
Did you just fucking ruined his day, dude.
Oh god.
I don't know. You ever say something? You're like, "Am I 100% right?" But I know that they
all
do.
podcasting
They
is.
do put chemicals
I
on
bet.
it to like make it taste like backyard barbecue.
Well, that's what I was just gonna ask. Are either of you too smart?
No,
Okay.
Not really.
I would say I'm somewhat intelligent, but
Well, because I you mentioned the farmland thing. My buddy, who is one of my best friends in the world, childhood friend growing up, but he's gotten very Republican over the years, and he loves bringing up.
He is a sick puppy.
Yes, and he.
all right, 6 more to go.
And he loves bringing things up, like, like telling me how like I should be scared and all this stuff.
Right.
And the other day he just goes, well, China owns most of the farmland in America. And I'm so stupid that I immediately go, that can't be true.
Right.
But I don't have the facts to be like, this is why it's not true.
This is what's so hard nowadays. It's like we can't agree on what's true. Even if there is the truth you can find, it's hard to keep track of it.
Yeah.
It's changing a lot. And then, you find like you think you know everything when someone comes with some talking points at you that you're not familiar with. You're like, I don't know.
Oh, and he's rocking with them.
Right.
And I don't know if it's true. And I'm
You
just
don't
like,
know. And like, what are you going to do? And like, say you win the argument. What then? Like, like it's all so silly. I've gotten to the point where like, you vote your way, I'm voting my way.
Yeah.
I can't, we're not going to like convince each other at this point.
But isn't that's a wild claim?
And it could be true.
It
And
might
you,
be
and
true.
you still haven't looked it up.
Dude, I know.
And I still don't know.
Weeks ago.
Yeah. And if we do look it up, where are we looking? The fucking internet.
Yeah.
Is that going to give you the truth? It's going to give you two versions of two different
Yeah,
answers.
depending on what else you've Googled.
Right,
That's it.
right, there you go. I didn't even think about
Depending
that.
on what else you've Googled, it's
Right.
going to give you the one that you want to see.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
Oh, dude, this just made me think of it when you said that. But BlackRock?
I don't know BlackRock, no.
BlackRock's like this huge, massive investment hedge fund, whatever, where they're the ones that buy up all that real estate around the country, all those like, $100,000 homes, and then they flip them and then they own them. They own so much private property in the country. It's crazy. And I went on a date with a girl who worked for BlackRock, and I was like, are you insane? I go, are you crazy? She's like, oh, it's a great company. And I was like, they're going to own the entire country. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
They're the reason we can't buy homes.
Right.
Like,
Is that what it is? Like
kind
they
of,
buy
yeah.
everything up and then
they buy everything up, and
but
it's
they
like,
don't
yeah.
need to sell it?
Yeah, no, they don't need to. They rent it. That's their big thing. They'll either flip them or they rent them. So like,
Right.
if you can buy a home for
Right.
like $100,000 in
Yeah.
like Wisconsin, you can just rent it from a
Right.
BlackRock owned. And it's also like, who knows if there's foreign money in there? And
Was she a homeowner?
no, she lives in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
I
don't
did want to
even-
know how much she made, but I was also in that like first date. Maybe we'll go home together. So I didn't want to be like,
Sure.
how much you make to sell your soul?
Right.
How much?
And it is. I do think you can Google that, like
Oh, I'm
entry level
sure, yeah.
positions at BlackRock.
I'm gonna say,
He's Googling it right now.
yeah, I'll look it up. Entry level price for
But
BlackRock.
you gotta assume it's one of those businesses, like every business, where you're not making that much unless you're at the top.
Oh, I bet.
I like when they judge certain businesses as a pyramid scheme, and you're like, aren't they all pyramid?
Most are pyramid schemes.
I remember like way back in my open mic nights, speaking of bringer shows, this guy that ran a bringer show brought me over and he showed me like this business he wanted to be a part of. And the graphic was actually a pyramid.
Yeah, some are pretty heavy-handed.
Like, he's just like, hey, dipshit. this is a pyramid scheme.
But the pyramid can always get bigger. You just got to get more. We'll add another level underneath, and that's your people.
I already knew I wasn't going to do it because he's like, yeah, come over for some pizzas and beers. And we got there and the pizza was DiGiorno. You know what I mean? He made a frozen pizza. I'm like, no, this business clearly can't be that good if you can't order delivery.
This says $56,000 a year starting salary.
That's not bad, but it's also not great.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I think it's
Not good.
Probably more than
But
I've
it
ever
says,
made in a year.
although this one says BlackRock pays on average its employees $980,000 a year. So that probably means at the top they're making
Right.
millions and millions of dollars.
It's so funny to think like, oh, 56, that's all right. What are you doing with that in New York? This woman lived in New York. Like, what can you do with 56?
Yeah.
You give it to your roommates. You know what I mean? Like, you're still paying rent and
It's
having
crazy.
roommates.
I saw something else. I'm getting like real conspiratorial on this podcast.
right.
Lots of facts.
That means this podcast
Lots
can be
of
big.
facts, I saw something. This guy broke down like how we live in the best time right now, and the Great Depression was the worst time in history financially. And he did this whole breakdown where like back then it was like $5,000 a year was like average, and like to live on that is disgusting. Like you can't believe it. There's
Right.
poverty lines, people living in tents in the park.
Yeah.
And you think like regular people, that's nuts. Soup lines. And he did this breakdown where it was like whatever they were making in the Great Depression, the equivalent today would be like $110,000 a year.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Like some disgusting where it's like, we're not
How does that work?
making that.
Dude, if you knew what I've made some of the years that I've lived in New York,
Yeah.
you would be shocked.
I've had 2 good years. Like
Ever?
financially.
I haven't
To
had
where
one
I
yet.
looked at it and I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to do my taxes, man. My accountant's going to be impressed.
Are you saying 2 good years ever?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to
the
have
rest,
one of those.
The rest of it is you just, fighting. I've had a lot of decent years.
I've had a lot of good weeks.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Ray always says, he goes, catch me on a good week and I'll buy a bunch of drinks.
No kidding.
I said I'm rich like 3 days a year.
Exactly. Because it doesn't matter. You say like, oh, put it in the bank. It's not enough to put in the bank. It's
No.
enough to buy 2 sandwiches.
Yeah. It's enough to have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are you getting? Sandwich? Oh, and chips? I got it. You get the soda. You get your soda.
Yeah.
16 ounces.
Ray's having one of those weeks he was bragging about again. He's guacking it up.
Yeah.
Are you a
Add guac. Add sour cream.
You know it's an extra $6. I got it.
are you
Make that burrito wet. Sorry.
I want it to drip out of my hands.
I want to like soup.
Are you a big drinker, man?
I used to be a very, very big drinker to the point where it was a priority. And now I can't stand when I drink too much.
Really?
Like I'm already bummed while I'm buzzing. Like,
Really?
oh man. Because it got to the point where I can't sleep if I drink more than 3 beers. And I try to keep it at 2.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm already a bad sleeper. And
Yeah.
then the booze, it just, I can't sleep. If I get wasted, I'm so bummed. I'm like, but then I have to switch it to positive and be like, well, you're just going to smoke weed and tomorrow. You're not doing anything tomorrow. You're just not doing anything tomorrow. And you're going to smoke weed and you're going to fucking eat horrible food. It's going to be great. Like I have to convince myself it's going to be great because I can't face that that sleepless night.
Yeah.
You know?
I was literally with you, and then I was like, yeah. I also can't sleep when I drink 18 beers.
Right,
I
right.
literally have such a hard time sleeping. The next morning I'll be up at 6 a.m. and I'm just laying in bed for 6 hours being like, what did I do
You get like
last
3
night?
hours of sleep.
Yeah. What did I
That's
say
just
to
not-
people?
Yeah,
Who knows? Anxiety.
Not knowing. It's all terrible. And without all that negative thing, it's like I like it way more than weed. But but in the real world, I like weed a million times better. In other words, I like the buzz of alcohol better, but I like the lifestyle of weed way better.
Do you
Under
are
less
you
trouble.
more edibles or smoker?
I like them both.
Both.
Yeah,
We talk about this all the time, but edibles, can't do them.
I can do them. I can do them.
How much though?
Yeah.
Not a lot. I go easy.
Like like 5,
10.
10?
And if if it's a couple days in a row, I can bump up to 15
Oh shit.
because I've got a tolerance at that point. But I don't get cocky with edibles because it's a fucking nightmare if you take too much, even a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You feel like you're gonna die. You think you're gonna die. I remember one time I took too much on the day. And my poor wife, it was the anniversary of her father dying, and I thought I was going to die. And I'm like, this is going to be a horrible day for her. Because, there's their paranoia, too.
Yeah,
think of her.
Dude, I remember
You fucking asshole.
selfish bastard.
You just want to get out of your body. You just want to get the fuck out of your body.
You can't fall asleep either.
Yeah, no, you're
I've
thinking.
I've been high on
thinking.
edibles. Like I just want to go. Can I just go to sleep?
Yeah.
Can it just
Right.
Let me go to sleep. Oh, it's horrible.
I took too much, just barely too much last week So it wasn't terrible, but I found myself, like, I guess you would call it daydreaming to someone that doesn't smoke pot, about like a moment I had with my 8-year-old daughter, but I don't have any kids. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm having like a full-on conversation in my head with like a kid, what it would be like to have a kid. Just because I thought to myself, I wonder what it would be like to have a kid. It turns out it's really nice. But I'm not gonna do it.
But the difference
she said,
is,
I love you so much. Man, what a nice, that sounds like a really nice trip.
It was nice.
Dude.
And then I came to and I go, what am I thinking about?
But that's the
This
difference
is crazy.
between weed and booze. Is
Yeah.
weed you get too high, you think you have a kid.
Yeah.
Booze you get too drunk, you accidentally have a kid.
Great point. Or neglect your kid.
Yeah. Were you a blackout when you were boozing?
I am a very good drinker, and I don't really get that blackout.
Oh, shit.
I can get there. In fact, I'm such a good drinker when I'm wasted. I tell people, hey, I'm wasted right now, because I am, I don't know if there's anything to Irish blood. I do think there is generational trauma and body types and everything. And I can drink so much that I'm actually like way better in person, because like I'm calm, and I don't have anxieties, and I can concentrate, and I can speak slow, and I can, so like if I do happen to drink too much, I will tell my wife or anyone I'm talking to. As soon as the conversation gets heavy, I'll go, I have to tell you, I'm like probably blackout drunk right now. And they don't believe me, and then I tell them what I've drank, and they go, oh, okay, all right. And then they still want to talk for some reason. But I have to tell you, like, my perspective might be different tomorrow. I'm wasted right now. It's like I'm really good at drinking.
I envy those.
You wake up the next day, you're like, you know what? I thought about it. We shouldn't start that business. I don't.
There's a lot of that.
I think there's too much overhead. I don't think a pancake factory is gonna work in the city. I mean,
Weed, I'm new at, and I do believe it's helped me quit drinking, because I can just go, oh, well, you can just smoke weed.
Yeah.
But I can't do it at a party. I can barely do it in front of my wife, who doesn't judge me very hard.
Yeah.
I just feel like my superpowers are gone. It's the opposite. Like I feel like I'm not quick-witted, and I can't even, it doesn't even like connect exactly. I'll be talking about something that we're not talking about.
I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I am the exact same way. Like I'm firing on all cylinders when I'm a certain level of drunk. But see, I don't have the thing you do, because I eventually hit a point where I'm comatose. But with weed, I'm like, dude, I feel lame and insecure in public.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And it's just like, why did you just say
I can't go out.
Yeah.
You smoke weed, I'm like, I'm good
Whereas
inside.
Whereas alcohol is a delay. It's 12 hours later, you're like, why did I say that?
Because in the moment, if you say something stupid, you're like, fuck them if I said something stupid.
Exactly.
Losers.
Oh my
The
God.
next 24 hours, you're like, why did I say that? Why?
And
Did that sound weird? What's going on?
And then sober at a party's no picnic either. I mean, I do that sometimes too. But
Yeah.
that's usually where eventually I bring an edible in my pocket, and I'm like, I gave up booze completely for January, and I don't mean to shit on sobriety, because I think it's awesome, but I find it like kind of boring.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much the general consensus, especially at a party. Parties are overwhelming to me, and I really do like drinking at them anyways. But anyways, I forget my point. I just know I'll take an edible, and then it'll creep in, and it'll start to be fun, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here right now.
The heat starts coming.
And I don't say goodbye or nothing. Just I'm gone.
Yeah.
I like that you keep it in your pocket just in case, like a cyanide pill.
Just in case I want to have a bad time.
That's your exit, dude. That's your exit.
Right. Yeah. It's like exit will begin in dink.
What's the most trouble you got yourself in boozing?
Boozing. You know, I don't make bad decisions when I drink. I make bad decisions when I'm hungover. It causes depression. And I'll just be like, I'll just think negatively and make like negative choices, or make like big decisions that I shouldn't be making. Like, you know, like I'm going to fucking move. I'm moving, you know? And I'll just fucking move with no money in the bank. Stuff like that.
You've done that?
I've done that. Yeah.
How far?
I moved from LA to New York about 11 years ago. That wasn't all my fault. The people that told me they had a room for me, they didn't really have a room for me.
Oh,
you know what
God,
I mean?
dude.
But it was like just before the iPhone era.
Oh my God.
Where it's like, I should have been like, take a picture. But they were close friends. And I was like, they say they got a room, they got a room. And they just didn't have a room. They had like a hallway. Like they had like, a railroad? Like this is a railroad.
Yeah, this is a railroad.
But, it was like a mini hallway. And I was like, oh, fuck this. house. And then I ended up.
No, there's a curtain. It's fine.
Then I ended up in like a crazy like old warehouse that probably wasn't even like that legal. I had to walk through someone's kitchen to get into my little apartment. So in other words, I had 3 roommates in my section of the floor. It was walled off and everything. It was like kind of like build your own wall.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to walk through this young couple's. Their kitchen was right here, and their privacy room with the door was right here. But I had to walk through, like on a Sunday night, you'd walk through their kitchen while they're cooking and having like a private time. Oh. And it's just like, yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? You know?
Did you not have access to that kitchen? It was just
that wasn't my kitchen. There was a kitchen in my apartment. There was a kitchen in my apartment.
That's insane.
But like, the kitchen was also part of the living room, and I didn't know my roommates that well. And one of my roommates was like a chef, so everything was like hers. And I always felt like weird using her stuff and everything, you know. It was a crazy scenario. I lasted like 9 months, and then I went back to my friend had a guest house in East LA, and I just went back there and just like regrouped from there. And I was because when I was, you know, you get cocky, or I got cocky because I moved out to LA when I was like 23 and really got pretty far out there. And I'm like, of course I can do it again. What I didn't realize is it was like leaving everything I built behind me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like the credits didn't transfer.
Yeah, and to have your own apartment, and okay, like it was at a tough time in my career. It was like, but you have the apartment. You can find the extra $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
When you like give it all up, you gave it all up. And that's the type of shit I mean. Like, so I'm drinking and I'm doing like alcoholic type shit, like not talking to people, like forget a therapist, like just not talking to anybody and just making these like that's like the most concrete example I can think of.
That's the Irish stuff in you too.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. It was almost was like a fuck everybody. You know what I mean? But people aren't thinking about me. People aren't like, fuck Matt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm taking like a lull in my career personally, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, because it happens to so many people and it happens to everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good advice. You accidentally gave me good comedy advice one
Is
time.
that right?
Yeah, you did. I don't know if it was accidentally. But
I'm good at giving other people advice.
me too. I'm terrible at taking my own advice even. But we were, I think it was when you moved back here. Because you moved back to New York.
2018, I moved back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bumped into you at the stand and we were talking, and when I was running a show there, I was like, hey, and we didn't run another show, but I was like, hey, I think we're going to have another show soon.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll let you know. I'd love to have you. And you were like, yeah. I was like, but that's really all I got going on. I was like, I'm a fucking nobody. And you were like, you look at me and you got real calm and you go, buddy, we're all nobody. There's only like 3 somebodies at this. And then you go, and it's weird. One of them's right there. And you just point, and like Bill Burr was just randomly sitting at a table.
That's wild.
Yeah, but that's it. When you think of it like that, it sounds like, maybe to some people that might sound like pessimistic, but I think that's the most optimistic thing I've ever heard about comedy.
It's not. It's like we're all here like doing this, and you have Ray has good weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we all have our moments. Most of us, and you look at like this SAG strike and the writer's strike, and most of the people who are successful technically have to work day jobs, have to fight for their payday, and like it can be pretty blue collar. And I saw somebody on Twitter like, you're fucking with the wrong people, studios. Like we know how to take shit. We know how to not work for a year. Yeah. We know how to survive. You're dealing with cockroaches, you dumb fuck.
You know how much I can stretch $1,000, dude.
You're dealing with people that on a whim will move across the country and live in a fucking hallway, baby.
And then move right back. There's a cleansing.
The worst decision I've ever made hungover was like watching Battleship. That was it. You were like, well, let's move across the country.
That's funny.
Dude, I moved to New York, and I was, the first year I was here, I slept on a futon in a living room, and it was the futon that came with the apartment. So it was like a rickety old futon, and that if I would have brought a book into bed with me, it would have broke.
Yeah,
like that's how big of a dude I am.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just so uncomfortable. Like every night, like I would like wake up from like one of the pieces of it just breaking, and I was like, this doesn't have much more fucking time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fucking
those times in your life, they end, but they last too long.
Oh yeah.
Like this too shall pass.
Yeah.
In a fucking while.
Yeah.
In a long while.
This
is
too
gonna
shall
pass.
pass. It's gonna be here.
But this week you're still fucked.
Yeah.
Did you ever sleep? I used to sleep on an air mattress for a long time.
Definitely.
And dude, I remember it used to, I got it from Bed Bath & Beyond, and they have like a great exchange policy, probably while they're going out of business. But dude, that thing, I would sleep on it for 3 months and then it would pop. It would like the chambers inside. So then for like another month, I would just sleep with this huge bump
It's
that
a
was in the
sad
middle,
existence.
and then it would go flat. I'd bring it back to Bed Bath. I'd be like, no, it just popped. And they're like, you're not supposed to sleep on this every night. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Of course, it's guests,
It's better to sleep on the floor.
Oh, it's
You know
horrible.
what I mean? Like it's less
Horrible.
sad to put a couple blankets down and sleep
Brutal.
on the floor because the floor is not gonna because you do wake up in the middle of the night like concaved out.
yeah.
And
So
it's just
sad.
a reminder.
Like in the middle of the night, your you time.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to think about the world. Now you're thinking about your bills.
Yeah.
At 3:30 a.m. and you have to get back to sleep.
The universe is just like, hey, don't forget you're poor.
It's time to wake up.
Dude, nothing's
Time
more
to get to work, asshole.
nothing's more depressing than getting woken up to just air leaking, and you're just like, it's just like, psst. You're like, fuck, god damn it.
Has anyone ever macked out and got a girl back to an air mattress before? Has that ever
I have
happened?
I
You've
have,
done it?
yeah, a few times.
That's
Really?
good.
Yeah, dude.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I remember when I moved out of my place in Boston. I sent everything with me, and I slept on an air mattress there for like 3 months. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm moving to New York. This is all temporary." And they were like, "No, this is great." I
This is for 3 years.
Hey, I'm sorry that this is so uncomfortable. They were like, "No, I had a great sleep. This
Yeah.
was awesome."
Yeah, that's
I moved
so
back
funny.
in with
I can't
my-
believe. Congratulations,
Yeah,
by the
man.
way.
I moved back in with my mom when I was like 26 for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I remember like bringing girls back and like telling them lies about why I was there.
That's smart.
Yeah. I would always be like, yeah, they're fucking, they're doing something with the apartment complex I was living in. So I got to pop back here for a couple of
Listen,
months.
that's good for both of you.
Yeah.
Like the woman's going to be happier that way too.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Nice
it's not
little lie.
it's not a big enough lie that like, it's not like all of a sudden you didn't use a rubber because it's your mom's house.
Yeah.
It's not on that level. I don't know what y'all's preferences are, but it's not like you fooled somebody.
My mom's
that
very
bad.
Catholic. So if we are going to have sex here, I
Right.
cannot wear a condom.
House rules.
Yeah.
House rules.
Under. Nope, mom. Nope, we're all good up here.
Well, let me go talk to my mom then.
Yeah.
Let's. I got to run this by Jamie if you want to wear a condom.
Can I sleep over? I'm gonna have to check with my mom. She's got a busy schedule tomorrow.
I did during that period of time. I did have a girl that I kind of sort of dated a little bit in the past, and then she wanted to hang out. And I was like, hey, just so you know, I live with my mom now. So if you wanted to come over after we grab drinks, and I came over, and she was a strange girl, and she had just gotten into like a fender bender, but she called it like a car accident,
Right.
And she was like, yeah, like ever since the accident, I've been having to wear gloves. And like my, and like, so she's wearing like these wool gloves, and we get back to my mom's house. I almost said my apartment. No, it was my mother's house. And I'm like laying in bed with her, and we're hooking up, and I do her a favor, and then she is gonna return the favor,
Right.
and she's gonna give me a hand job, and she goes, is it okay if I wear the gloves?
Oh my God.
And I just remember being like, nah, this is where I gotta put my foot down. No, you gotta take the gloves off. It was like like they were like wool gloves.
Why was she wearing gloves?
Because she said it had to do with her issue. Cause
It's already a bottom of the rung favor.
yeah.
And then to just ruin it like that is just don't bother.
Oh my god!
I do it. This is the one thing I can do myself.
I didn't even. Do you know what happened before that? Is this is all coming back to me? She wanted to just come over, and I was like, we can't just hang out at my mom's house. Let's go to Red Robin. So we drive to a Red Robin, which is actually right by the Pittsburgh Improv. Where I mentioned it. It comes full circle, and we drive to the Red Robin, and then I notice I don't have gas in my tank. But I want to get home because I can't afford to buy gas because my fucking paycheck's not clearing till the next day.
I know that shit.
Right? And we break down on like my grandfather's street. I have to call my mom. It's like cold out. I call my mom. I was like, hey, do you think you can bring me some gas? Because I didn't have any friends, and I didn't want my friends to know that I was with this girl.
Yeah.
And
Why not, dude?
and
Whoa. What about this girl, dude?
it had nothing to do with how she
Come
looked.
on,
She was
man.
a cute girl. She was a lunatic.
They knew that.
They knew
Yeah.
that because when I did have an apartment, she stayed at my house for like 36 hours once, and like
Wow.
I couldn't get her to go. But she, my mom comes, and like I must have been like flooding the thing, so like the gas didn't work, so I had to get jumper cables. I run to my grandfather's house to get jumper cables while my mom sits in a car with this girl, and then she comes back to me and my mom's house after that and tries giving me a fucking gloved hand job.
What a day.
What a night, man.
That is a rough one, dude.
I know.
That's brutal, dude.
Have I never told that on here?
No,
that just
dude.
came back to me.
That's insane. A gloved hand
She
job.
didn't. She was nice enough to take the glove off.
I know a guy that like had this.
Dude,
Oh, she did? She took it off? Yeah. Oh, I love a happy ending. Pew, pew, pew.
I'm not gay no more.
Oh.
I am delivered.
What is that?
That
You
was the
never
wrong
seen
one.
that, dude? No.
It is that what you just heard is a clip from. It went viral. It was this clearly gay man who is in an evangelical church who just went through conversion therapy.
Yeah,
and he's saying how he's not gay no
That's
more.
rough. There was a comic in LA
So good.
who was like, yeah, I used to be gay. He was one of the people that, this scenario.
Yeah.
He was gay. He went and got like conversion therapy or whatever, and then he was there to like shit on homosexuality at the open mic.
Shit.
You know what I mean? And his argument, and talk about it's rare you get heckled at an open mic.
Yeah.
But all these comics were like, bullshit, dude. And they weren't like trying to be mean about it. They were just
Yeah.
like, dude, you're gay.
That's
it's cool.
crazy.
Like, we're at the
Yeah.
open mic. We got all kinds of things
Yeah.
going on. We're not here to judge gay, but we're here to judge conversion therapy. It wasn't that elaborate of a heckle, but it was just like, dude, you're gay. It was like, dude, you're gay. And he was just like, no, I'm just a dude. Like, dudes will do anything. And everybody's like, no, dude, like, no.
Nope.
Then all the dudes defending that were like got real homophobic. Not me, bro. No.
And he was just so angry. He just such an angry.
Makes sense
take
because
on
he's
it.
gay and he's
Right,
not allowed.
right.
Like he's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
allowed
yeah.
to be.
Yeah, this guy on the button, he sounded happy
yeah.
about it.
I don't like men no more.
Dude, he goes nuts.
I like women's.
It's so good.
And if you're watching him, you're like, oh, this is one of the gayest
Sure,
guys I've ever
sure.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
Be gay.
Right. I know. It's weird. Like you think society's evolving, and then it just gets like sucked back under
Yeah.
the time. We got to start all over again.
it's so good.
Well, that's what like living in New York, and then you said that you lived in LA. Like,
Yeah.
like you do go to some parts of the country where like, it's fucking I would never be gay there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like we're so like, why do these fucking people just come out? And it's like, well, that guy's probably in Alabama.
Yeah.
No, and it's so not even on the radar. Like there are guys in my high school who I now know are gay, and you go, yeah, of course, but like you don't even, you think like. I remember thinking like gay was just like an insult from like a John Hughes movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think it was like a real lifestyle that people actually
hilarious.
did. I thought it was just like an insult. And then like you move to LA and it's like, oh, everybody's gay. And they were.
If you want to work in this town, you'll be gay. That's so good, dude. Dude, we're already at an hour. That's
Okay.
dude. That
I
we
think
do
I've said some crazy
about an
things.
hour. That was great, man.
I've said some things that made me uncomfortable. So I think that counts
Perfect.
as like sharing.
Anything else? Anything else you want to add?
No.
Hell yeah, man. That was great.
I
dude.
want to plug my podcast,
Yeah.
The Power of How.
Give them all where they can find you. Any plugs you have.
It's called The Power of How, and Brennan Tassif, who is just
Yeah.
on your podcast,
Past guest.
is my co-host. And I'm going to be in Philadelphia again, October 6th and 7th. So come check me out. Details at thefullcharge.com.
Hell yeah,
man.
Make sure to follow Matt on social media. You're the Full Charge on social media.
At The Full Charge, yeah.
Make sure to follow Matt. He's fucking hilarious. If you are in the Philly area, go see him.
Yes, please.
Perform live. You could find me on social media at Zawodni. Live dates. You could see me at the 7th Street Comedy Club. Coming there soon, Fridays and Saturdays.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have 4 shows per weekend there. And August 17th, I'll be in the Cabaret Room at Hilarities. August 19th, the Attic Comedy Club in Columbus. Come out. I need people there, please.
Hell yeah.
For the love of Christ.
At Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and at Troublemakers on all those sites. We post clips 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week. Six. New episodes are out every single Wednesday. We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.
Bye.